back to Photos with Yanni. Today I figured it would be a good opportunity to refresh on our skills on how to edit Milky Way shots. First of all, I'm going to show you really easy how to take a Milky Way shot, and then we're going to jump into Lightroom and do a quick edit on a shot that I've taken. So first of all, let's talk about how to take Milky Way shots. You don't need extra equipment. You're going to need your tripod, your camera, a remote shutter usually helps, and you're also going to need to do manual focus. So there's an app called the Star Walk. This is what I use, Star Walk app. I go out there on a new moon night when there's no clouds out there. It's really crucial to make sure that there's no clouds, because if there is clouds, well, I'm going to show you a shot, when you'll see what I'm talking about if there's clouds into the shot. Then it doesn't matter what kind of camera you have. We're going to utilize the kit lens. Like the image that I'm going to edit today, it was taken with a T7 Rebel on an 1855 kit lens. You want your aperture wide open, 3.5. ISO anywhere from 800 to 1600, no more than 3200. You may play with that. Then find a light in the distance, use autofocus, and then turn autofocus off. So set up your tripod, find your light in the distance, use autofocus, use that light to get everything sharp, unless if your lens has focus to infinity, then that's what you need to do. And then point it at the Milky Way. Without a star tracker, it's a good idea to do it for 30 seconds. That's when you're going to start getting minimal amount of trails. So tripod, remote shutter, manual focus to infinity, 2-second delay, ISO anywhere from 800 to 3200, f3.5, and if you don't have a star tracker, 30 seconds is good. Point, click, and you should have an image like this. So here we are in the image, and this particular image was taken with a star tracker that I have. As you can see, it was 126 seconds at f3.5, ISO 800 on an 1855 kit lens. This is just your basic T7 Rebel. Now what's interesting is if we go back out to my library, I think it's the one before, and it's this one, you can see what happens if you have lights into the picture. This is for 85 seconds. Like I was telling you, I was using a good iOptron Skyguider Pro. The Skyguider Pro was something that I really miss. What a star tracker does is that it allows you to focus on the stars without getting star trails. So as you can see right here, 126 seconds, f3.5, ISO 800, so not a lot of noise. You have a lot of definition of the Milky Way right here. You zoom in, you don't get a lot of lines, a lot of star trails. So the very first thing that I'd like to do in my image, make sure that it's properly straightened. For this one, I light painted the foreground and the background. This is exactly what it came out of the camera. So right off the bat, increase my highlights, drop my shadows, increase my whites, drop down the blacks a little bit, and you already get a much better definition. If it's too yellow, go ahead and get the temperature maybe to a little bit cooler. You can get, there we go, a much more cooler Milky Way, and we'll edit it again and again. So I like this one right here. Then let's go back into the texture. A little bit of texture, a little bit of clarity, a little bit of dehaze goes a long way. And now this is what it was, this is what it's looking like. It's definitely a lot more defined. So now we get an opportunity to go crazy. Increase the vibrance, increase the saturation, and you start to get all kinds of cool colors here. And mind you, this is on a T7 Rebel. Go back down, bring the shadows down, bring the darks down, bring the lights a little bit higher, bring the highlights a little bit up, getting it much more defined. This is what it was. This is where it's at. Now, the bottom part of the image is a little bit distracting. So what I would like to do is first give me a little bit more noise reduction. Secondly, I'm going to use a gradient. I'm going to use a linear gradient right down here. And I'm going to bring the exposure down a little bit so it's not as quite as distracting, but I'll drop it down maybe about a stop a light or something like that. Reduce some texture, reduce the clarity, some negative dehaze, because I want it there, but I don't want it to be as pronounced as the rest of the image. So now we got this part right up here. I'm going to put another linear gradient on top. So right here, and again, give it me a little bit of contrast, increase the highlights, drop some shadows, increase the whites, drop the blacks a little bit, give me a little bit more dehaze, but not too crazy. Give me some texture, give me some clarity. While we're at it, bring the blacks a little bit back up, and now you have, this is what it was before, you have a much more defined Milky Way right there. I mean, you can even use a local brush if you want to, right on the Milky Way, but I'm pretty happy with this. By the way, this is Jupiter, and I think this is Saturn, if I'm not mistaken. This is a shooting star right here. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Bring the saturation up a little bit. Now, I like that. I want to introduce a little bit more luminance. Of course, silly me. The very first thing that I should have done was remove chromatic aberration and enable profile corrections. Look at this. Look at that. Old image, new image. Old image, new image. That should have been the very first thing that you do. Usually I shoot with an R6 now, and it's already part of a profile on the Lightroom. Forgive me, but that's okay. It's always good to go back. Now, overall, the image is a little bit too bright for me, so I may just reduce the exposure just a little bit. And again, going back into the luminance, do some more noise reduction. So this is the new image. This is what it was. This is how we'll make it more pronounced. Now, I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to go ahead and export it. Milky Way old. And I'm going to show you the next thing that I'm going to do. By the way, if you go to my website, and I have all those presets for free, both for Lightroom and Luminar, photoswithyanni.com. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up this image on Luminar. This is going to give us an extra kick on editing. You see what I mean? Beautiful. Here we are with the image on Luminar. I can apply one of my presets. See? Apply that. This is what it was before. Made it a little bit more vibrant. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to edit it a little bit on the fly. So I like it a little bit cooler. I like some smart contrast. I love that tool of Luminar. I want the highlights up, shadows down a little bit more, but at the same time, Luminar is a little bit smarter in that aspect than Lightroom. I'm going to use AI Enhance. I'm going to accent it just a little bit, and the sky enhancer. Well, I can't find a sky, of course. structure, maybe just a tad. Color is okay. I'm gonna go to the details enhancer, a little bit on the small details, a little bit on the medium details, a little bit on the large details. Just sharpen it just a little bit. Go to my favorite part of Luminar. Luminosity denoise and color denoise. Look at this. You can go to the landscape enhancer and just add a little bit more dehaze to it if you want to. See what dehaze does. I mean, because it's an abstract, we can get a much more dramatic image. So I will dehaze it a little bit more dramatically. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and export it to an image. I want to show you what it looks like, what we started with, and what it's looking like right now. So here's the original image that we started with. This is the edited image after Lightroom and Luminar. Original image that we started with. Edited image after Luminar. Original image that we started with. And the edited image after Luminar. So as you can see, this took us what, like 10 minutes to edit. It's really simple to edit Milky Way shots just like that. Really dead easy. Again, going back to how to take Milky Way shots. New moon, you don't want the moon out there. No clouds. Manual focus. 18 millimeters or 24 millimeters if you got it. Wide open aperture. Manual focus to something far away. Tripod, remote shutter, ISO anywhere from 800 to 3200. If you got a full frame, you can even go to 4000. 2-second delay, point, click, shoot in RAW, import the image to Lightroom, and work it out just like that. As always, if you like what you see, like us, follow us. I plan to do a lot more videos right now. So leave a comment below on what you would like me to do next. Next video, I'm going to show you some editing techniques in Lightroom. Photos with Yanni. Thank you so much for sticking around. Talk to you soon.